Hi. This week I wanted to chat with all of you about element 23 in the life book. It's called Mastering Your Thoughts and Emotions. Now, we did talk about it a little bit in element 4, and so if you're struggling in that area, element 4 is a really great place to start. It talks about above the line and below the line behaviors and the types of thinking that we have. This is like comes back up in element 23. And so basically it starts out by like understanding that the world is like a crazy place, isn't it? And wouldn't it be like normally we're either very rigid in our thinking and our emotions, and those tend to then put us in a place where we might freeze or get frustrated because we're not willing to bend, or there is the person that's like super flexible and goes with the flow, but because they kind of allow everything in, life is very chaotic. We want to find a balance between those two things where you're able to, like, we can't control the crazy things that happens in the world, right, and in our life, but we want to be able to take those in and not have them affect our health journey and our life and our stability and our emotions. You like that, Archie? He's in it for the teaching today. So that's kind of where we're trying to be, is that balance in between. So this, I mean, I highly recommend you going through it. Man, he has this really good point about what is the thing that affects how much, how often, and how healthy we eat? What is the thing that determines how active or how much we exercise or don't exercise? Our emotions. And there's this crazy thought of like, we put so much effort and energy into the foods that we put into our body, the exercise that we do, thinking about that number on the scale, and we don't do anything to address the mental and the emotional part of this journey. And I'll say it, like, a lot of you do not open up that life book, this life book. So much of what goes into long-term success is going to be the mental work and the emotional work and the internal work that you do. It isn't about that number on the scale. It's not about the food that you're putting in your body. It's really about dealing with our emotions and breaking bad habits and replacing them with good ones. And so getting into this life book, our emotions affect us every second of every day. They are the energy that directs every aspect of our life. Their deep, ancient, and central role in directing our brain and mind is only just unfolding. Less than 5% of the people have developed mastery of their emotions so that they can truly have calm and focus that allows them to be the dominant forces in their life. In this life book, you have the tool in front of you to be one of those 5%, you know, to make the changes. It goes through again, like there's a revisit of the above the line and below the line thinking. Above the line is like being very open-minded and like apologizing and being willing to learn and seeing positive in a negative situation. Below the line is very like judgmental and not my fault and, well, this happened to me, and like just very closed-minded. So we want to be above the line thinkers. It also goes through the different parts of the brain and like how like the lower level lizard thinking, like that's the automatic response, like we don't even think about it, we just do it. And then that second level is the Labrador. So it's very instantaneous, very like emotional responses. We still don't think much about it. We just do it, and it's for that instant gratification, like a Labrador dog, you know? And then there's that human thinking that's very disciplined and has a lot of willpower and is like stop, challenge, choose is another technique that's in the book, giving us that mental space to really think about the choices that we make and the reactions that we'll get from those choices, and like how those choices will play into our long-term goals. And so really that's the place that we want to get to, is most of our thoughts are going through that human brain part, and like honestly just thinking through, not acting on an emotional level, not acting in like a responsive level, an automated level, but really thinking through. I listened to a podcast yesterday, it's not thinking in a smarter way, but really just being better thinkers. Like that is such a great goal, is to become a better thinker and not just be so reactionary and responsive. So that is element in a nutshell, because there's a lot to it, but in a nutshell, that is what you're going to find in element 23. A revisit of element 4 is really about that mental game. And I highly encourage you, get into that life book, even if it's just 2 pages a day, 5 minutes a day. Any of that is going to be more helpful than 0.